a big telescope imaging those jets. So these images are intriguing.
Using equipment costing a fraction of what billion-dollar spacecraft carry, astronomers managed to capture images of Comet Atlas that are remarkably sharper, clearer, and far more detailed than anything the space agency publicly released. And people noticed immediately. Side-by-side comparisons flooded social media platforms within mere hours. On one side, Craig's strikingly crisp images displaying structured geometry, distinct luminosity patterns, and clearly defined shape. On the other, NASA's soft, washed-out image that resembles more of a rough calibration frame than the clearest view yet they had confidently promised. The stark contrast is impossible to ignore or explain away. One determined man with a backyard telescope somehow outperformed the high-resolution imaging science experiment aboard the Mars Reconnaissance Orbiter, an instrument that successfully captured intricate surface textures on Mars from hundreds of miles away suddenly can't deliver a clear, detailed image of an interstellar visitor passing through our solar system. That's the question everyone's asking persistently, and NASA's official explanation isn't helping matters. If you're wondering why independent astronomers keep consistently revealing details that official channels won't show, hit subscribe, because what Paul Craig captured fundamentally changes the conversation about Comet Atlas and raises much bigger, more uncomfortable questions about what we're actually being shown. Paul Craig, widely known in astronomy circles for his meticulous, precise imaging techniques, had been carefully tracking Comet Atlas since its very first appearance in our skies. Unlike many casual observers, he approached the mysterious object using extended exposure imaging, advanced stacking techniques, and a refined calibration method he personally developed himself over years of practice. His resulting images reveal a structured, luminous body surrounded by a faint glowing envelope with distinct, almost geometric properties. Multiple observations consistently show an elongated luminous structure with what appears to be a bright central core and rising streams of reflected or possibly emitted light extending on either side. The object looks neither like a typical comet nor a simple fragment of interstellar rock. Instead, its shape appears deliberately structured, symmetrical, and highly unusual for a natural celestial body. This has led many researchers to believe Craig captured important features that NASA either didn't successfully capture or deliberately chose not to emphasize publicly. NASA's much anticipated livestream aired toward the end of October. The agency heavily promoted it as the historic moment the public would finally receive a high-definition look at Comet Atlas. They repeatedly emphasized that the high-resolution imaging science experiment camera on the Mars Reconnaissance Orbiter had captured what they described as one of the clearest views yet of the mysterious object. The world waited with tremendous anticipation, especially after weeks of mounting speculation and carefully orchestrated buildup. When the image was finally displayed, viewers were genuinely taken aback. Instead of the crisp, detailed portrait many reasonably expected from multi-billion-dollar spacecraft technology, they were presented with a soft, washed-out appearance, providing only the faintest hint of the object's actual structure. The disappointment was immediate and vocal. Social media quickly filled with damning side-by-side comparisons. The startling idea that a single individual with backyard equipment had decisively outperformed one of the most advanced imaging instruments in the entire solar system became a major talking point across platforms. Observers found NASA's release timing particularly puzzling and suspicious. Nearly a full month had passed since the high-resolution imaging science experiment had gathered the original data. NASA explained the unusual delay by referencing the government shutdown that had temporarily paused operations across multiple federal departments. Yet many found it genuinely difficult to accept that a single image, particularly one with so disappointingly little detail, required the entire agency to be fully operational just to be shared publicly. A photograph of this nature could have been posted quickly and easily by a very small team, even during significantly reduced activity levels. The prolonged, unexplained silence left many observers believing the agency may have been carefully deciding how best to handle information that appeared glaringly inconsistent with amateur observations already circulating widely. Craig's photographs are now rightfully considered some of the most significant civilian images ever captured of an interstellar object passing through our system. His dedicated commitment to multi-night imaging sessions, precise equipment calibration, and systematic comparison across multiple filters allowed him to reveal crucial aspects of the object's structure that appear remarkably consistent across all the data collected. This impressive level of repeatability has substantially strengthened the scientific credibility of his independent work. Many believe that if his revealing images had originated from an official government source, they would already be universally regarded as groundbreaking discoveries. His images clearly reveal defined lines, central brightening, and symmetrical flare features that only strengthen the compelling idea that Comet Atlas may possess characteristics that simply don't fit established natural comet models. In stark contrast, NASA's blurred, underwhelming presentation has raised serious questions about whether the agency is intentionally withholding detailed data from public view. Critics have pointed to historical instances in which NASA live feeds were mysteriously interrupted during the appearance of unusual objects, arguing this may represent another troubling example of selective transparency. As discussions surrounding Comet Atlas intensified dramatically, people began revisiting earlier interstellar anomalies, noting that NASA's imaging of Oumuamua had also suspiciously lacked clarity and detail. Once again, amateur renderings and simulations appeared more structured and informative than official releases. This concerning pattern, when directly compared with Craig's exceptionally clear images of Comet Atlas, has led many to suspect a recurring deliberate hesitancy by NASA to share high-definition imagery of unidentified interstellar bodies. Public reaction to NASA's disappointing release continues revealing widespread skepticism and distrust. Many feel that an agency with access to unmatched resources, powerful telescopes, and decades of accumulated expertise should absolutely not be outperformed by an individual observer working from his backyard. The response to Craig's images demonstrates an accelerating shift in the public's trust toward grassroots scientific observation. For decades, NASA and other major agencies held near complete authority over space-related information. Yet, with modern equipment becoming increasingly accessible and affordable, amateurs around the world are now able to observe celestial objects with astonishing precision previously reserved for institutions. Craig himself has remained remarkably composed amidst the growing attention and media interest. He has consistently emphasized that his focus remains on careful observation rather than wild speculation. Though he acknowledges that Comet Atlas is unlike any object he has photographed before, his calm, measured approach has only strengthened his credibility within the scientific community. Ultimately, the debate surrounding Craig's images and NASA's official photograph reflects a larger, more significant shift in public expectation. People are no longer satisfied with vague, unimpressive images of significant interstellar events. They demand transparency, clarity, and timely updates. Craig's dedicated work demonstrates what becomes possible when a single astronomer applies genuine dedication and skill. His images stand as a powerful reminder that truth can emerge from completely unexpected sources. As the world continues studying Comet Atlas, the critical importance of independent observation has become more apparent than ever before. Paul Craig has conclusively shown that even without billions of dollars in institutional resources, one determined observer can fundamentally reshape the global conversation. His images, sharper and more detailed than those released officially, have prompted many to reconsider what they have been told and to look deeper into the mysteries of the cosmos. Because if a backyard astronomer can reveal structures NASA won't show, the question isn't just about equipment or budget anymore. It's about what we're being allowed to see and what we're not.